Hello class, good evening. Welcome sa second part ng ating topic, okay, which is basic considerations of a corporation. This time guys, let's discuss about yung components, okay, of a corporation. Ano nga ba yung mga bumubuo ng isang corporation, okay? May mga new terms kayong may encounter dyan like corporators, incorporators, shareholders, and members. So, isa-isahin natin kung ano nga ba yung definition or distinction, okay, ng bawat isa. So kapag sinabi natin guys na corporators, it's like a general term, okay, dun sa mga owners, okay, or investors ng corporation, okay. Kapag pinag-uusapan natin is stock corporation, ang tawag sa mga corporators na yan ay stockholders, di ba, or shareholders. Okay, whereas kapag non-stock naman, non-stock corporation ang topic natin or pinag-uusapan, yung mga corporators na yan ay tinatawag din members. Okay? So, yun yun. Okay? Corporators. Now, isa pa is yung tinatawag naman nating incorporators. Incorporators naman guys, corporators din to. Sila din yan, okay? Stockholders or members din yan. However, itong mga incorporators nito, ito lang yung mga tao, persons na na-mention sa articles of incorporation. Ibig sabihin sila lang yung names, mga tao, or individuals na mag-a-appear yung names dun sa articles of incorporation na isinabmit, okay? Sa SEC, okay? Sa Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, take note guys na a corporation or a partnership can be a corporator. So, pwede na, inaalaw na ng batas ng isang corporation which is an artificial being. Okay, may sariling juridical personality and a partnership can be a corporator. Okay? However, sabi dyan, hindi sila pwedeng maging incorporator. Okay? A partnership can be a corporator in a corporation, but a corporation cannot be a general partner in partnership. Okay? So, ano pa yung sinasabi dyan? Corporator, partnership daw, pwedeng maging corporator in a corporation. Okay? However, yung corporation hindi siya pwedeng maging general partner. Bakit guys? Kasi kapag sinabi natin partnership, maging corporation, walang conflict, di ba? Kasi ang partnership, meron silang tinatawag na unlimited liability, di ba? So, in particular, ang pinag-usapan natin dito is yung mga general partnership, di ba? So, meron niyang unlimited liability. So, kapag naging corporation yan, walang problema, walang kaso, okay? Mag-convert lang sa limited yung liability nila, okay? Pagka gano'n, pag naging corporation sila. Ang pinoprohibit nilang guys is yung corporation, okay, which has limited liability, di ba? Tapos papasok siya sa general partnership, which has unlimited liability. So parang nagkakaroon ng contrasting nature yung dalawa, di ba? So, limited liability ka, tapos pupasok ka as a general partner which has an unlimited liability. Okay lang yung kabaliktaran, di ba? Partnership with unlimited. Then, kapag naging ano siya, corporation, di ba? Corporator ng corporation. So, mas magpe-prevail yung limited liability in nature niya. So, ganun siya guys. Ang pinagbabawal is yung reverse. Okay, and all incorporators are corporators of a corporation, but not all corporators are incorporators. So, tama naman, di ba? Kasi ang sinasabi natin is incorporators, ito lang yung mga individuals na na-mention sa AI or Articles of Incorporation. Pero corporators pa rin sila, okay? Pero hindi lahat ng corporators naman are incorporators. Kasi hindi lahat ng corporators na yan mame-mention sa AI, okay? So, mga 5 or up to 15 lang yung magiging incorporators out of mga corporators. So, ganun siya, class. Number and qualification of incorporators. So sa old law, na-mention na natin to, it's like 5 to 15, di ba? Pero it's already been abolished, okay? Na-remove na siya, yung ganyang requirement, wala ng minimum. So technically guys, sa new law, it's 1 up to 15 na, okay? Wala na yung 5 to 15 na na-discuss natin, okay, sa difference. Kasi dito na pumapasok guys yung tinatawag na one-person corporation. Even one stockholder lang can form a corporation as long as meron siyang capacity, okay, to build a corporation. Ano pa yung sinasabi dyan? Each incorporator of a stock corporation must own or be a subscriber to at least one share of the capital stock. So, kapag ka incorporator ka, required ka, di ba, na maging subscriber to at least one share of capital stock. Okay? So, yun lang yun. Now, class, if you can still remember, di ba, yung sole proprietorship na discuss natin sa part 1, sa accounting part 1. So, yung mga sole proprietor na yan, they can opt to decide, okay, if they have the capacity to be as one-person corporation. Bakit? Kasi guys, although maraming papel, di ba, maraming steps in forming a corporation, okay, kasi pupunta ka pa sa SEC, magpa-file ka, di ba? Kailangan mo pa yung mga articles of incorporation mo, yung mga bylaws. Eh, sole proprietor ka lang, di ba? Pero, um, kahit na ganoon karami yung steps na pagdadaanan mo in forming a corporation, ang pinaka-advantage nun guys is magkakaroon ka ng limited liability. Okay? Unlike kapag sole proprietor ka, uh, and you have unlimited liability. So, alam niyo naman yung distinction between the two class, diba? So, kapag limited liability ka, hindi mahabol yung mga personal assets mo, diba? While kapag mag-stick ka sa sole proprietor, general or unlimited liability ka, so definitely mahahabol yung mga personal assets mo. So, ganun yung distinction, okay? And it's only an option, guys, okay, for our sole proprietors if they want like to decide to form a one-person corporation kasi permitted na siya, okay, under the new law. Now, another term, guys, na dapat nyo matandaan is yung subscribers. Sino-sino ba yung mga subscribers na to? Ito yung mga tao na nag-commit, okay, na bibili ng stocks, okay? Although hindi pa siya paid, maybe in full, maybe installment pa lang siya nababayaran, they are being called subscribers, okay? Just like when you're subscribing, so let's say sa viewing subscription, okay? Let's say Netflix, huwag na tayo lumayo. Ang kaibahan lang is sa Netflix, you have to pay first, okay, for you to avail of the service. Pero here, sa corporation guys, yung mga subscribers na yan, so they're just promising, okay, committing themselves to purchase stocks in the future, okay, kahit na hindi pa nila nababayaran in full. So, ganun siya. So, subscribers yung tawag sa kanila. So, also, let's take note na all incorporators daw are subscribers, but a subscriber need not be an incorporator. Okay, so, balikan natin. So, sabi dyan, dapat ang each incorporator must be a subscriber to at least one stock. Okay? Pero, hindi lahat ng subscriber ay incorporator. Okay? Only those names that appear in articles of incorporation can be considered as incorporator. Promoters naman guys, ito yung mga in charge, okay, sa pagpo-form, okay, and organize ng corporation, okay, so during the promotion period, okay, so sila yung people involved, okay, in the promotion. Underwriters naman class, ito usually yung mga middleman, okay, mga investment bankers. So, ang function nila is humanap ng buyer, okay, mag-sell, humanap ng buyer ng mga stocks, okay. So, parang ganun, sila yung tumatay yung middleman class. Okay, kapag may mga stockholder na gustong ibenta yung mga shares nila, so makikipag-negotiate sila dito sa mga investment bankers nito, sila naman yung hahanap, okay, ng buyer, okay, potential buyer ng mga stocks. So, ganun siya class. Okay, underwriters. Independent director naman class. So, di ba, mga owners na yan, di ba? Mga stockholders, they can nominate or elect yung magiging mga directors, okay? Kung sino yung magmamanage ng corporation. So, mga directors, okay? So, kaya may tinatawag tayong mga board of directors, guys, di ba? And one of the requirement guys is like for director to become independent. So ibig sabihin lang na independence is yung wala kang conflict of interest kumbaga, okay? So yun lang yung pinaka point, okay, for being an independent director. Let's say for instance, kung magiging director ka man, let's say buo yung attention mo, okay? As being a director, okay? Kasi there are instances na director ka nga and then you are also, let's say, holding a position, okay, sa other corporation. So, ang nire-require lang is for you to become an independent, okay? Para magampanan mo yung task mo, okay, properly. Being a director. So, ganun siya. Now, sinasabi pa dyan, a publicly held corporation shall have at least two independent directors. Okay? Publicly held corporation, ito yung mga tinetrade sa stock exchange. Okay? So, sa Philippine setting, it's like yung Philippine Stock Exchange. Okay? Required is at least two independent directors. Okay? Or at least 20% of the members of the board, whichever is the lesser. Okay? So, that's under Section 38 of the Securities and Regulation Code. Now, after components guys, dumako naman tayo dito sa mga classes of shares. Okay? Although this is just a preview guys, and we'll have more illustrations, okay? Para mas ma-appreciate yung topic. So, isa-isahin lang natin itong mga new terminologies na may encounter here. Okay? So, we have yung par value shares. Ano nga ba yung par value shares? Yung mga shares of stock na yan, class, meron niyang value. Okay? Let's say for instance, per share, sabihin natin 10 pesos. Okay? Yan yung pinaka-minimum value issue price nung particular share na yun. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang 10 pesos ang minimum value niya, hindi mo pwedeng bilhin yung shares na yon ng let's say 8 pesos. Tumawad ka pa ng dos, di ba? So, dapat for you to purchase that share, it should be at least 10 pesos. Okay? 10 pesos or more. Okay? Kung bibilhin mo siya. So, hindi po pwedeng bababa yun. Now, Section 6 of the code states that preference shares of stock may be issued only with a stated par value. So, hindi pwedeng no par value kapag preferred shares. Ano nga ba yung preferred shares na yan? Mamaya, i-discuss natin. Okay? That's another class of shares. Okay, kung may par value shares naman, meron naman no par value shares. Ito naman yung mga shares na walang na-mention na value, okay, sa Articles of Incorporation or sa Certificate of Stock. Okay, kapag ka no value ang shares, meron tong construed minimum stated value, okay, and how much yun? That's gonna be like 5 pesos, okay? So, that's according sa Section 6. So, kapag ka no par, so, ang thinking na natin is meron tong stated value, okay, na hindi bababa sa 5 pesos. Okay, stated value. Now, sinasabi pa dyan that banks, trust companies, insurance companies, public utilities, and building and loan associations, itong mga nature ng business na to, they are not being permitted to issue no par value shares of stock. So, only par value shares, okay? Hindi pwede ang no par. No par value. Now, other classification class is yung voting shares. It has the right to vote. Non-voting, wala kang capacity to vote. Okay? So, yun yung mga shares na yun. Ordinary shares, meron kang, holder ka ng shares na equal pro rata division of profits. Okay? Walang lamangan. Okay? Kapag ordinary or common shares holder ka, so entitled ka sa equal distribution ng profits. Okay? Kapag nag-declare ng profit yung corporation. Sa post of preference shares naman, meron tong advantages. Okay? Merong privilege. So, illustrate natin yung advantage na to uh, in the future, guys. Okay? Kapag na-elaborate pa natin yung topics natin. Okay? Pero for now, uh, it is okay na to know okay, these terms. Okay? Anyway, this is just for basic considerations pa lang. Okay? So, tandaan nyo na lang yun muna. And then we have promotion shares. Ito yung binibigay sa mga promoters, di ba? Let's say sila yung pulong abala sa pag-organize, pag-form ng corporation. So, as a form of compensation, they can be issued or given shares, okay? Para at least maging investors din sila, okay? Or owners ng corporation na yon na pinopromote nila, okay? So, that's called promotion shares. Treasury shares naman, ito yung mga in-acquire, okay, na shares. So, nag-issue ka na ng shares, may bumili, and then later on, bibilhin ulit ng corporation, okay, pabalik. Pero, hindi pa nila i-write off sa libro, okay? Not retired, okay? So, binili lang nila, ni-reacquire lang ng corporation. Okay, yung mga treasury shares na yan. And of course, convertible shares naman, ito yung mga, let's say, nako-convert from one class to another. Let's say, for instance, from common shares, ordinary shares, pwede siya ma-convert into preferred shares. Parang ganun. Or preferred shares, pwede ma-convert into common shares. Okay, and vice versa. Parang ganun. Authorized shares, ito naman yung maximum number of shares, okay, na corporation can issue. Okay, ito yung mini-mention nila sa Articles of Incorporation. Okay, dinedeclare na authorized value of shares. So, kung 100,000 for instance, up to 100,000 lang yung pwede mong i-issue. Okay, hindi ka pwede mag-issue ng lalampas pa doon. Okay, issued shares, ito yung mga na-distribute mo na sa mga stockholders, sa mga investors, and yung mga hindi mo pa na-distribute na authorized shares, yun yung unissued shares. Okay, kabaliktaran. Outstanding shares naman, mga issued shares din to, less yung mga treasury shares na na-acquire na natin. Okay, so that's called outstanding shares. And subscribe shares naman, ang subscribe shares, ito yung mga sinubscribe pa lang, okay? Di ba? Ng mga subscribers. Pero hindi pa fully paid. So, ganun siya. Minimum capital or minimum subscription and paid-in capital. So, ina-abolish na to class, di ba? Sa new law, wala nang minimum capital stock requirement. Okay? Sa old law kasi, meron silang sinasabi na kapag initial formation pa lang, meron ka dapat authorized shares na i-declare, and then 25% nun dapat is subscribe, and then out of those subscription, 25% dapat 25% pa rin nun is paid already. Okay? So, ganun siya. So, let's say kung may 100,000 ka na authorized shares, dapat 25,000 ng shares na yon is na-subscribe na. And then, out of those 25,000 shares, mga 6,250 shares nun, or yung 25% is dapat mayan na. So, ganun yung nire-require ng old law. Pero ngayon, wala na yun, okay, sa new law. Ang nire-require na lang is under Section 37 kapag, let's say, for instance, na-distribute mo na lang 100,000 na shares na yon in our example, okay? And then, you decided na kailangan increasean pa natin yung capital stocks natin, okay? To gain more funding. E di, lalapit ka ulit kay SEC, di ba? Magre-request ka ng additional capital stock. So, dun sa increase na yon, dun na nare-require ng batas na 25%, okay? In the increased capital stock should be subscribed, and at least 25% nun should be paid. Okay? So, dun pa lang nagre-require ang batas ng 25-25. Now, ang sinasabi pa dyan, kapag reverse naman, pag magdi-decrease ka ng capital stock, dapat lang is walang ma-agrabyadong corporate creditors. Okay? Walang rights na ma-aggravate. Okay? Or its effect shall prejudice the rights of corporate creditors. Now, ano naman tong organizational structure na to? So, simple lang, from shareholders, sila yung owners, di ba? Sila yung mag-elect ng board of directors. And yung board of directors naman, guys, ito yung mag-elect ng mga officers. Yung, let's say, president, secretary, mga treasurer. And yung mga officers na yan, sila naman yung mag-elect or hahanap ng mga empleyado, di ba? Ng corporation. Okay? For its operation. So, Board of Directors class, so yun lang din yun, okay? Based dun sa illustration natin. Board of Directors, so group of directors yan, meron silang pinaka-leader, okay? Tinatawag na chairman of the board. Now, for the president naman, na title ng president, sabi dyan sa batas is must be a director. So, that's required, okay? Pero, hindi pwedeng president ka and then secretary at the same time, or president ka and then treasurer at the same time. Okay? So, bawal yun. Corporate secretary naman, dapat ang required lang is resident citizen ka ng Pilipinas. Okay? Dito ka nakatira sa bansa. Okay? Sa country natin. Okay? Philippines. And naka-lay down lang yung mga functions niya. So, basahin nyo na lang yung class. For corporate treasurer naman, also, walang requirement, okay? He may or may not be a director, and of course, yung function niya. So, it's up to you na, guys. Dito tayo sa note, there is no prohibition in the law, okay, against a shareholder being a director or officer of two or more corporations. Pero, sinasabi nila, kahit na walang prohibition sa batas, pwede siyang ilagay, okay, sa special law, under special law, kapag pinaprohibit siya ng special law or ng AI, Articles of Incorporation, or nung bylaws mismo ng corporation na yun. Okay? Ang ina-avoid lang dito guys is yung conflict of interest na tinatawag. Okay? Kaya may mga ganitong provisions, okay? Kung ilalagay nila sa bylaws nila or sa Articles of Incorporation. And lastly, guys, yung mga corporate books records natin. Okay, di ba? So, partnership and sole proprietor, we only have two books, di ba, na na-mention, which is the journal and the ledger. But this time, meron ding minutes book, okay? Yung contain ng mga agenda ng mga meetings ng mga directors and shareholders. Okay, or yung stock and transfer book. Ito naman yung mga records na names ng shareholders, yung mga nagbayad na, mga hindi pa bayad, okay, lahat, kailan nagbayad, any details, okay, concerning stocks. Subscription, ito yung mga blank, okay? Printed blank subscription. Shareholders ledger, kung ilang shares yung binili ng mga shareholders, di ba? Andiyan, naka-indicate din siya, okay? Sa listahan na yan. Subscribers ledger naman, parang kung magkano yung sisingilin pa natin sa mga subscribers, di ba? So, let's say, nag-promise siya na 100,000. Sa subscriber ledger, 10,000 pala yung bayad niya. So, we still need to collect 90,000. So, parang ganun yung reporting na yan. Okay, ledger. Stock certificate naman, ito yung mga blank. Okay, yung mga certificate of stock, ito yung mga parang diploma na sinasabi natin na evidence ng ownership. And kapag ka mga blank certificates pa lang, so yun, nasa safe keep din yan ng corporation, okay, as part of their corporate books and records. And that concludes our topic for basic consideration. So, ang importante as of this moment, class, is for you to understand these terminologies, okay? We will have more concrete examples, illustration, para mas ma-appreciate nyo na pa yung mga ma-encounter nating terms na to, okay? In our next session or topic, okay? But for now, it's important for you to review, okay, and gain familiarity, okay, of these terms, okay, under basic considerations. Now, before we finally conclude our topic, so meron din ako ritong ni-research, okay, kung ano nga ba yung difference between the old law and the new law, okay, or yung tinatawag nating Batas Pambansa bilang 68 and yung Republic Act 11232, okay, or the revised. So, basahin nyo lang yon, ito, yung mga description na yan. Dito na lang tayo sa table, okay, for the summary. So, with regard to corporate term, guys, so sa old law, sabi dyan, it's maximum of 50 years lang but can be extended, okay? Pero sa new law, guys, inabolish na yon, okay? Wala na tayong minimum 50 years requirement sa lifespan ng corporation. So, bahala ka kung hanggang kailan mo gusto yung corporation na itatayo mo, okay? Walang limit, okay? Walang lifespan limit. Now, when it comes sa minimum incorporators naman, sabi natin sa BP, it's 5 to 15, di ba? Natural persons only. Pero sa new law, wala na, hindi na 5 to 15. It's like 1 up to 15 na kasi ina-allowed na yung one person corporation. Okay? So, ganun siya. Entity, so incorporator entity, only natural persons lang, di ba? Pero dito sa new law, allowed na, okay? Can be partnerships or corporations man yan, okay? Allowed na yung mga artificial being, okay? As incorporator. Minimum capital, required siya. So, yung tinatawag nating 25-25 rule, di ba? So, from authorized shares, 25% nun dapat is-subscribe and then 25% ng subscribe must be paid, okay? Pero inabolish na yon sa new law. So, wala na siyang requirement. That's for initial, okay? Initial. Pero kapag let's say for instance magre-request ka to increase yung capital stock mo, so doon ka na nire-require ng 25-25 rule. Okay? So that's under the new law. Meetings, physical presence, so hindi ka pwedeng wala, di ba? Kapag ka may annual meeting, dapat present ka, okay? present yung pagkatao mo, or you may have your proxy, di ba? Yung tinatawag nating proxy. Pero sa new law, hindi na, okay? Kasi with the advancement of technology, pwede nang isagawa yan, okay, remotely. Okay? So, remote communication is allowed. Pero pa Zoom meeting na lang or Google Meet, so pwede na yung ganun, okay? Electronic filing naman, let's say for instance, boboto ka, so your physical presence is required, and then yung ballot, manual ballot, so ganun siya, okay? Para sa botohan. So, that's sa old law. Pero sa new law, pwede ka nang mag-electronic filing. Okay? Pwede nang yung botohan, voting process should be electronically done. Okay? Specifically authorized na siya. Penalties naman, it's lower. Okay? Maybe because it's created way back 1980 pa. So, yan yung batas pambansa bilang 68. So, usually, ang penalties niyan kapag ka may violate ka sa Securities and Exchange Commission na rulings concerning your corporation, so, ang penalty is like 1,000 up to 10,000 only. And maybe because that time guys is malaki na yung value na yun. Okay? It's 1980. Pero ngayon, starting 2019, na-enact yung new law, Revised Corporation Code. So, na-increase na siya. So, it's gonna be 10,000 and more na. Okay? Mas malaki na yung penalties ini-imposed. Okay, so that's it guys for our basic considerations. Okay, see you next time. Thank you so much.